Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and good night to everybody who is into stamps. Stamps, what is better than that? I can't think of anything even better. On a cold, windy April the 19th, 2025, I can't think of anything better than having a bit of an update on a collection. So, what have we got here? Well, this scientist is calling for an update, so that's what we shall receive. And excuse the glare, I've had to put the light on because it's absolutely cold out there. So we're going to have a little look at Czechoslovakian. Now we've seen most of these. We've gone through the history of the Czechoslovensko and what it became and what it was, and a little bit of history there. But what we'll do is we'll have a look on the second page at some of the stamps, and as you can see, I've put the date and possibly little notes. Sometimes I get the spelling correct. So here I found a Bowman and Marvorian, Czech and Moravia. So it's a German occupation stamp, which I think is pretty cool. Pretty cool. 30th anniversary of the destruction of Nagasaki. Another of those Bowman, Marin, Chechny and Morava occupation stamps. Probably cancelled in Prague, so that's quite nice. Roznov, 1941 German occupation of Prague Castle. Well, not of Prague Castle, but the stamp is Prague Castle. And cancelled in Roznov. That's quite sweet. 1948 Gottwald, who may have been and was probably a political leader going into their socialist days. 1939 to 45 occupation. Again, we see the Bowman Marin. And then we got back to Czechoslovensko, so Hodonín Square. President Beneš, 1937, so just before the war. You know what, you get a bit of independence and then another war comes along. Unbelievable. 1972, we come into the modern age. Ironworks. This is what stamps is about. Forget pussycats, forget flowers, birds and rocks and things, sand and hills and rings. We want ironworks. That's what we love. You can't beat a bit of working. Other people, not me. Bernstein Castle. Sounds a bit Dracula, doesn't it? Or Frankenstein. Bernstein. A nurse. So we're looking at, with this and with the chemist one there, we're looking at jobs. Donatello is celebrated, the artist is celebrated in Czechoslovensko. Why? I don't know. But it did remind me of a stamp we looked at a couple of months ago, which talked of an artist being shown in that particular eastern country. I think it was Dresden. So maybe the Czech people, or the Czechoslovensko, had a Donatello in their museums. So 54 stamp, nothing much there. Senate Slovakia. Looks like He-Man. Probably isn't. 1964 cardiology. So we're getting into the modern, they're showing off, we are clever too. We can do stuff with the heart. And why not if you've got it flaunted? Czechoslovakia, 1954. So really, I do like this one because it's got like a soldier from not the war, which is interesting, isn't it? So when the war's on, there's no pictures of soldiers. When the war's off, there we have it. Now this character here, President Masaryk, features in a Lara stamps. So here is in 45, here is again in 27, 38. This is a nice stamp, 1920, Freedom, Breaking the Chains, apparently. Mitra Castle, 1966, 1971, Slovensky Saris. Ashlani, 1994, so a Czech Republic. One of the only ones I've got of the Czech Republic, 1994, so I'm pretty lucky to have that, and then we turn over, there's nothing there. So the next country that I'm looking at, that I've improved upon, and again we've got the history of sort of Greece as we know it, from when stamps were first issued, 1861. I've got nothing anywhere near that. But we have that first page, and I've added a little bit more. Forgive me if we're going over again the past. Olympics, well, they invented the Olympics, so presumably they're entitled to have as many Olympic stamps as they wish. Here we have the javelin thrower. No, it's Zeus, 1937. Zeus of Dodona. Vikos Gorge, which is a geographic feature in Hellas, in Greece. 1969 European Athletics, that's a lovely stamp. 1954 Moshoforos. So Foros, I think, is I'm not even gonna try. Yeah. And then we have Philip II of Macedon. So the Macedonians we're looking at here. Philip II. So Macedonia would have been an area that, in those 2004, as massive. Greek, by the way, is not just a country, it's a complete area. It's a huge area that has joined other countries and come back and forth. Okay, here we have the Red Cross. It's a nice stamp. I love these stamps because I do love posters. And to see two people stood in front of that icon, it's fantastic. And here we have another one. Soldier maybe returning from the war, 1918. Red Cross, Lenta 5. 1937 Charity. In the name of charity, charity tax, Corinth Canal. 1913. Ikatrate, I don't know. 1912 Hermes, who is messenger. New Greece Turkey military campaign. Aha! So this I failed to add it there, so I should have come here first. So we've actually got a stamp celebrating a military campaign. How good is that? And there's a second one. 1990, probably Messalina. Queen Sophie, 1957. Looking sad. Piraeus Harbour, I've been there. 1958, the year of my birth. Been there. It's a lot busier there now than it is then. And then the anti-tuberculosis Queen Olga, Queen Mother. So that's Queen Olga, and this is the Queen Mother Sophia. And here we have Corfu Promenade. That's quite nice. And Voyage of Dionysus, which is a Greek legend, I think. And then we go up here, and we've got actually Crete. So it is Greece, but they're talking about Crete here. Knossos, 1961 stamp. Probably there was some stuff going on around the Greek islands, with the Turks. 1967, Dodecanese, 47. King George II, 1947. Again, the Corinth Canal, so that may be... I've doubled up on my Hermes, again, 1911. Hermes does appear a lot. But of course, Hermes is a messenger, which of course the post service is, isn't it? Thrace, found this today. Bit of a nasty tear. 1920 stamp. Hinged it up quite nicely though. And it'll go nicely behind this plastic sleeve. Hermes 1919. Balkan War. So we got that, and that. So 3 possibly need to go together, but they come in, they go on the sheet. 1935 Airmail, Athena. So that's quite nice, a horse drawn. Right, I'm going to have to go pretty quickly with Hungary. So this was the first page. And then we've had these stamps, which are from 1958. So, I ran out of room, didn't I? Possibly I should have been a bit more patient and just gather the stamps and then sort them out. But then as soon as you sort them out, get them organised, another lot come in, and then you're back to square one. So I thought, what I'm going to do is just put them up. And someone else can sort the mess out. Anything old here? Well, here we have a World War I postage due, which I thought was quite cool. That's quite a nice, I would suggest, airmail, because it's got planes in it. I would suggest that's also airmail. Motor gliders, they're celebrating there. Why not? St. Stephen is big. It is big. He is big, actually, in Hungary. Well, this is from 1920. Actually, I've put 1939 there, but that says something was September 24. It could be 24th of September, of course. But I've gone to AI and Google Lens to identify. So some lovely stamps here, and here we have Telex. And then if I turn over, there's just 2 more, and the pretty early ones. So 1916 Reapers. You reap what you sow. And then underneath we're back to the crown of St. Stephen. So St. Stephen raises his head. Haha, if I can say that again. 1926. It's probably 1920 to 1926. And it's the crown of St. Stephen. Now, where is the crown of St. Stephen? Who was St. Stephen? I think Stephen was a martyr. Did he have a crown? Was he from Hungary? That I don't know. So that is what I'm up to on those 3. Those 3 collections. When I run out of space, I get more card and I have more plastic sleeves. And yeah, so they're all out of the box. More to come, not that many more actually. And then when that box finishes, that collection will be closed like this and put away somewhere. We'll see what happens. I've got other plans for other collections coming out of the big box. So we'll leave it there for now. 30 minutes 36. Hope you're having a fantastic Easter Sunday. Happy Easter to you all. Big day tomorrow. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.